Okay, I can do it. All right, so here we go. We built an environment a couple classes ago that looks just like the maze in terms of the way it's presented. So you remember that we use reset and step to cause things to happen. But this environment's kind of clever because it also allows you to play this particular game, tic-tac-toe, between two players. So when we're trying to use it in a Q-learning way, we can make the opposing player anybody we want. We can make it a human or a random player or a Minimax player. Now, I haven't talked about Minimax for 6 weeks. Does anybody remember what that is? Not you. Okay, you.
It's the one that is basically you can't beat it.
Right, you'll never lose. Yep. A mathematician who founded game theory came up with it, 1928, I think, named John von Neumann, a very famous person. And you're not going to beat it, no matter what you do. So we're going to see that in a minute. So when we play tic-tac-toe, the environment has the ability to remember the game and play it back, so you can see who won. So this is two random players making random moves. Oh, and somehow X managed to stumble into a victory. Okay? The link to this book is in the Discord, so you can follow along if you want to. Now, what's going to happen when I make a game environment, but instead of playing random players against each other, I play two Minimax players against each other? It's going to take a sec. What's going to happen there? Yeah, we have two unbeatable players playing tic-tac-toe. Unless I wrote the program wrong. But why is it taking so long? Somebody guess. Why is it taking such a long time to play one game of tic-tac-toe? What are those two players doing?
They're both teaching themselves?
No, they're not. They're the opposite. This one's... Wait. What do you think? Guess. You're exactly right. Yeah. They're obsessively trying to move in every counter move and every counter move, and building out the entire tree of all the possibilities of tic-tac-toe. There's like 17,000 moves there. This time it does every possible move for the entire game, and it's takes so long. Okay. But when the two unbeatable players played against each other, nobody won, right? It just took a while. So now what's going to happen when I ask the random player to play the Minimax player? Yeah, the random happen. What's likely to happen? We don't know what's going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's likely that the random player will lose. Maybe not. But right? So now here's the way we read these outputs. Now it's getting kind of like a little more interesting. The random player is X because I listed the random player first. It happened to move here. And then it cleverly did something that like couldn't possibly help it to win. And unmistakably it lost, right? If you do it again, it's a random player. So it did some other goofy thing and found a new way to lose. Let's see if I can lose. So when you have a human player, you can type in, you can try this on your computer, you can type in your moves. But I wasn't very clear about this. You have to realize that this is move 0, 1, 2, all the way up to 8. Because who wouldn't number them that way, right? That's the way Python numbers them. And so I wasn't particularly careful about letting you know that. But if I wanted to, for instance, take the lower right position, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 8, I think. I could do that. Now we have to wait for the Minimax player to try every conceivable thing to make sure that I don't win. Okay? Where should I go next? Anybody care? 6, okay. So I'll put a 6 in there. Okay. He's going to beat us unless we put in a what? 1. A 1. So you got the 0 index thing going. That's good. Fine. I'm not sure it matters a lot what we put in now.
I think 5 is your best
oh yeah, but at least it gives us the possibility that maybe he falls asleep for a sec. Nope. 0, 1, 2, we'll put 3 in there, and at least we didn't embarrass ourselves, right? Good. That's tic-tac-toe. Now, forget about it. Forget everything you know about tic-tac-toe, because now we're going to use Q learning. And the first thing about Q learning is we're not supposed to need to know what the problem is. We just need to know what? What are the basics? The problem has to proceed step at a time, right? And on every step, we have to get feedback, right? The actions that we take have to be finite, right? We have to know what we can do. We can't just make stuff up. So we went over it last time, but just to remember, let's print out the state space and the action space of tic-tac-toe. So we've got an unknown problem, but we do know that it has 19,683 states and 9 actions. Now the 9 actions are pretty clear because we just used them to struggle to a tie against Minimax, right? Anybody remember what the 19,683 states represent? It's a little obscure.
Is that all the possible?
Yep, it is. It is all the possible x's on the board, right? So we thought about it last time, and we realized that every square could be a 9 of them, right? So does Google work? Okay, Google, what's 3 to the 9th power?
3 to the 9th is 19,683.
That's better, okay. That's where it came from, right? So now we've got a program that at this point should look pretty familiar because it's the exact same program, except it was 2 weeks ago and we had a snow day and ate a lot of turkey and whatever. It's the program that solved the maze, including Max 3/4. Max has a concert tonight. Max is a talented cellist, so I wish he were here. I wish we could be there. But remember his 3/4 that made it go up the staircase? Yeah, you're giving me a dubious look. Okay, so the only thing I did, and I marked it really carefully, was I wanted to count how many moves our player survived before losing or tying, right? So I put in a little counter for moves, but I marked it. I said, look, this doesn't do anything. All the rest of the code is the same. The only thing that is different between this and the maze are the dimensions of the problem, and therefore the dimensions of the, right? So this will always work. Over at the OpenAI gym, this will work. Instead of making the Q table something that I understand, like 64 or 4 by 4 or whatever we did last time, I just made it the size of the space, you see? I said, I don't even care how big the space is. Just make it that big. You'll be fine, okay? So now, not having changed anything, right, I'm going to try to run this, and we'll see, well, we'll see if it runs at all. There we go. We'll see what happens. It lasts 2 moves. Not too surprising, because remember, it makes totally silly moves. It moves on top of itself. It doesn't know, right? It does random things and tries to figure it out. It lasted 3 and then 2. A little discouraging. So let's let it keep thinking. Okay? So we did this last time, I don't know if you remember, but if you came up to the board and did what it's doing, what would you be doing? Guessing, right? And then remembering that a certain move was probably ill-advised. Okay? We're up to 5 moves. How many moves can you make without losing? You can't make more than 5. There's only 9 squares, right? We're still losing. But we're managing to make 5 moves instead of 2. It's progress. Oh, we didn't lose. Now you're giving me the dubious look. Okay. We didn't lose because the Q table got full of numbers that guided us not to play that way, or whatever we did, or that way, or whatever it was, or that way, until it narrowed it down to one way to play. Now, before we take a closer look at this, we're going to take a much closer look at this. Does anybody think our Q learning is now a totally expert tic-tac-toe player? Probably not, right? Does anybody think our Q player could beat us?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with yes. We'll see how that goes. Does anybody think our Q player only knows how to win in one very specific scenario? I can see you nodding back there, right? Let's just see how our Q player is doing, right? Because this is one of the fundamental limitations of our purpose, right? Just because you fit something to a problem doesn't mean it's generalized. Okay, so let's just have a look. Well, the game itself went okay. We're X, and we tried S, and we wound up in G. That's the same configuration that the two Minimax players wound up in. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Okay. Now, what I did here was I kept the Q player around, okay, so that I could try to play against it with it trained, because the Q table is still here. In fact, if I could stop that, I kind of want to, that's okay, I did that on purpose. I kind of want to remind us of what this is. Well, NumPy did that for me. That's actually a table with 19,000 numbers in it. Okay. And apparently the ones that we can see, which are the ones at the edges, happen to be zeros. The important ones are somewhere in the middle. All right. So with that in mind, let's get back to our program already in progress. Here we go. So the Q player put an X in the upper right. And what did Minimax do back in the day? Does anyone remember? Can anybody scroll all the way back? This one. Aha. He took the middle. You guys got to memorize this, okay? He took the middle, then the upper right, then the middle left. So if we play like that, this thing should do okay. So he took the middle, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then he obviously had to take the upper right or it lost. So he took position 2. And then he took the, well, he doesn't want to lose, so he took the 0, 1, 2, 3. So we've got a player that kind of looks, pretty good, right? Like it almost kind of knows what it's doing. I'll take 8. Tie game. Okay. But what's going to happen, including you, Ilya, when I do something it's never seen before? Is our Q table going to have any numbers in it?
No.
It's going to be a whole new state, right? It's going to be like, what? Like, whose idea was that? So I think I can beat it by doing, even if I do something dumb, if I just take the position next to it. So it immediately blew up. So even though it says tie game, that's just because the human player doesn't know to look for illegal moves. It got a reward of minus 100. It moved on top of itself instantly. It's like, I've never seen that before. So if we were to train it to play against us, it would get better. But we have a couple minutes. We were just the snow day kind of messed me up, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I guess if I went all the way back up to where we trained it, where did we create the game that we did the training with? Oh, right here. So I'm wondering if I can say something like, I'm wondering if I can put us in there and start the whole thing over.
But aren't you going to have to then enter all your moves and play it a bazillion times for it to learn?
Yes, exactly. I agree with every word you just said. I was going to see if I could leave it just for the kids to play with later. If I could play it even once. No, not set up for that. All right, so maybe I'll set up for that later.
Oh, mine.
Are you playing against it? Let's see how it goes. Up there. You can. You can. And people do that. So the game 20 questions on the web was a share. It was shared. There are a lot of strategies to computers, but there are a lot of problems that get solved like that, like crowdsourcing stuff. What happened?
It
it's going to just do totally, totally, totally idiotic things. Go ahead. Did it lose again?
Yeah, it's struggling.
Yeah, it's probably making a series of illegal moves.
Ah, look, we got a second move.
There you go, because it knew enough not to do whatever incredibly dumb thing it did a minute ago. It might start in the lower right. I don't know where it starts. It doesn't matter, right? It goes. All right, so does that make any sense? Right? Just think about that. The same little program can solve 3 completely different problems, but only if it has enough experience, enough of the states that it knows what to do. That's all artificial intelligence. Neural net or big giant thing, that's all it ever does. Okay, that's the whole story. Make sense? No, I don't think it is going to know enough to win. You'd have to do that like 50 times. Okay, so what we're going to do, maybe on this machine over here, or actually anyone who can pull up the OpenAI gym on a laptop just by Googling. Did that thing go together? Is it in one piece? Would you mind showing it to everybody? Come on. Of course it does. Come on. All right, quick break. Come here. What is it?
So it's for the robot design class.
Yeah.
And it's the powertrain for the vehicle I'm making.
Okay.
And these are too long to put horizontally, so I put them vertically and just doing a friction drive.
Oh,
It's
nice.
funny, this needs to be a pulley here because there's too much friction against the pole with the load band. But
Okay. And then the wheels go.
the wheels will go here. These are just test pulleys just to see if it actually will drive something.
Got it. And why are they jump?
That's work.
Okay. What's it going to do with all that torque?
Well, it's going to be like a tank tread drive.
Nice.
So
Okay, get it.
something that can actually fit.
I get it. That may ultimately be a toothed belt. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. You designed it. Sorry. Good. Okay, we're going to the gym. You ready? Sure. Here's the goal, okay? The first goal, so here, go to environments for me. And we'll start with these because they're simple, the classic control environments, or the toy text environments, if you want to look at those, okay? And out of these, I think if you don't mind, if you go back to the classic ones for a sec, just this little guy here, Pendulum Zero, or Mountain Car, or one of those, is probably a good place to start. So these work just like the maze. Time, and Jeff and Ilya are going to help. We're going to try to get something on everybody's computer, okay? And then you're going to pick a problem, and really, you can pick any problem. It can be one of these simple ones, something crazy, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to try to write enough code that you have a random agent, right? Something that just interacts and works. Doesn't matter if it works in the sense you solve the problem. It's just that you know how to make the environment work. And then you're on your own, okay? And you can try to solve one of these absolutely any way you choose, okay? And if you want to use learning, great. And if you want to write a program that understands the numbers, fine. If you want to use some other approach, good. Try it, okay? And then we'll spend the remainder of the class time tonight, whatever time you might have during the week and the whole next session, trying to see if we can get some of these things working in a variety of ways, whatever problem you attempt and whatever approach you want to take, okay? So what I would like to do, I guess, is show you the basics of how to get this. How many of you know how to run Python directly on your own computer? Yeah, yes, you guys are good? Okay. So if you've never done that before, what kind, is that a Windows computer? It's a Chromebook. You're going to be at Replit. What do you got over there? Like directly? What is that? What kind of computer? Ilya, do you know how to run Python? I don't know. Could you give it a shot? Get on over there. Try to get that going. Okay. So one of the things that can be really confusing is Python runs kind of everywhere. Sometimes you don't even know where you are. But to run these things effectively, you want to run them locally if possible. Okay, so I'm going to take that screen back for a sec. And I'm going to get that going somehow. Hold on. Oh, who's got PyCharm? I heard JetBrains over there.
Does anybody else need a hand getting Python set up on a computer? Everybody okay?
Okay, so on a Unix computer, you just type Python. Oh no. How'd that happen?
I don't think it's defaultly installed on Macs.
Did you close Chrome? It's not.
Maybe? I would, judging by my lack of success, I'd say yes.
I think you probably want to minimize it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, you gotta, yeah. Sorry, don't mean to backseat that.
No, you're doing great. Obviously, I need the help. Aha.
It's funny because I saw my Pac-Man code in here.
Oh, is it still there? Oh, that's awesome.
It's so ridiculous. I mean, I burnt my computer so bad today. I had to get my computer. Did I tell you that?
What happened?
I had to replace the chip in my computer with the Pac-Man.
You got to replace the what?
Like the chip thing.
No. It caught fire? Trying to solve Pac-Man?
Bad. It just doesn't have a fan.
Oh.
So it just, well, because it's so, they don't think you can do anything on it. So I
Well, you showed them.
yeah, I
Right?
really stuck it to them. Apparently they gave me a stronger one.
Oh, that's good. All right, so guys, in Python land, installing the gym is no more complicated than saying pip or pip3 install gym. It's GYM. Now, over in Chromebook land, you need to go to replit. And then once you're in replit, right, I think you can just run. I think the gym just sort of magically tell you want to sign in. You know, we may have to give you a laptop. Because even though you can run code, you won't be able to see the animation. So you never know what your code's doing. Let's grab your laptop. So hold on. Hey, Jeff,
Mr. Tebow's version is Steve.
do we have a spare laptop? Yeah. Let's just grab an old laptop and try that. All right, so yeah.
Installing pip is easy, right?
I think pip should be there. Just type pip.
It's not, because we went through it last year where I was like, install the thing. And it said, no, pip is not found.
Pip is not found on a Mac.
I was gonna say, I think if they,
Google install pip on Mac, and what does it say?
However, it's going to be useless if my computer dies.
How what?
But it's going to be useless if my computer dies.
You think your computer?
Yeah, it's at 5%, and it loses power really quickly. So
What style charger is that?
it's the not skinny one.
It's the one that we don't have laying around. Well, I have to give you a laptop too.
wait a second.
You know what? Go ahead and work on it.
I might have put it.
Don't not work on it. Work on it. You can no. I'm not. No. Work on the thing that you're working on. You're fine. I mean, you built it here. It's not like it's not your Spanish homework. I can work on it. You might want to do that too. Is it on a Fusion account?
Yeah.
There's a box right there. Okay. Whatever. You do whichever one you want. Okay. Were you guys able to import the gym and get? Like NumPy, I think that it should get it itself, but go back out to the shell and.
It's not gonna.
Right? So
This is definitely like.
that should. I use pip3 over here to make sure I'm using Python 3. Install
I need more prods.
NumPy. Dum-da-dum. There it goes. right? So you should get to the point pretty quickly, right? Where I can say import gym, right? And then I'll call my environment equals gym dot make maybe, what's mountain car called? Mountain car what? It's probably called mountain car V.
Car ENV,
No, mountain car V0 maybe?
the class you mean?
The string literal that identifies mountain car. See what I just did? Yeah. See it? Can you see it up here? It's kind of tiny. I don't know how to make it bigger. Okay. So then if I do env.render, that if it were running, that would be, oops, maybe I should have reset it, huh? env reset says, oh, there's your initial state. env render says, oh, look at that. There's my mountain car. Oh, did Pip magically appear? Okay.
I did this little last year for me.
All right. So, no, don't be sorry. You're distracted with something that is a really great project. It's totally okay. On the other hand,
Yes.
do you know how to run Python?
I have Python open right now.
Oh, fine. Okay, thank you. So when you come around, fine. So just use pip, grab the gem, you're good. Pip. So in a PyCharm environment, if you use pip from inside the environment, it'll go into that project's like virtual environment. That's kind of cool. But if you want to just put it on your computer, that's fine too.
I'll just use Pip, but I don't know what.
In PyCharm, I think you can use pip in the terminal window.
I can.
Yep. Yeah, pip install gym. Give it a shot.
Jim with a Y though, right?
Yeah, GYM.
I'm gonna kill my computer again. I gotta stop this. I just wanted to see if Pac-Man was running.
What did it overheat?
Well, it didn't overheat, but it kind of just like stopped working one day, and now it's taking a while. But it's
I think that given your trajectory in academics in life, you're going to need a more powerful computer. Okay. All right. Have your parents talk to me. No problem. I'll send you a note, like a doctor's note.
yeah, you should.
Right. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Wickham, Amelia needs a real processor. Hey, Sleepy.
Hi.
Is it working?
Emily and I are both about to.
I know. It's that time of year. Leo's totally useless.
Because I've been going at midnight. And then it's not even like I get to sleep in on the weekends because I work from 8 to 4 to 4:30
Midnight's not good.
days.
Midnight's not good.
And
Is,
then I went to bed at 1 on Saturday, and then woke up at 6, 7 o'clock.
as grumpy as Leo is, if he stayed up till midnight, he'd total disaster.
I'm honestly kind of used to it at this point because that's just how I function now, and so I'm original all of the time. So my friends, it's funny.
All right, well, I'll make sure you get home in one piece, but you got to go to sleep before midnight.
Yeah.
So, guys, did you get a...
I use PyCharm normally.
That'll work. Inside of PyCharm, I think you can use pip inside the terminal window. Right, because what PyCharm does is it makes a virtual, right, I think. Screen up maybe on the right-hand side? Or actually, no, I'm going to peek over your shoulder because you have to put your desktop up there and that won't work. Okay. Is that PyCharm? Oh, it's an old PyCharm. Right, I'm used to PyCharm being dark. Okay, that's fine. So can you get a terminal down here? Like a shell? What version of PyCharm is that? (2017), that would be the problem. Well, we use 2019 2 or something. Yeah? Let me see. Could not install packages due to permission denied. Uh-oh. So you got to do sudo. So Python get pip. Is that what the world told you to do?
Amelia told me.
Yeah, Amelia knows everything,
Yep.
or at least some stuff. Sudo
I had to upgrade pip. Oh boy.
sudo python get pip.py. So now type in your password. Whenever it says permission denied, just become a super user. That'll teach it. Okay?
All right.
Good. Well, that'll you'll destroy the computer completely. There you go. Okay.
So secure.
So you can write code anywhere you want. Where do you usually write Python code? There you go. Next. Make the environment and make a random agent. Okay? Try to make a random agent like in the interpreter. It's likely to go poorly, but so what? I'm pretty sure I can say env.action space dot sample, and that gives me a sample action. Doesn't look like it's a whole lot of actions, but there's 0, 1, and 2. That's all right, right? Okay. So off the top of my head, I could probably say env.reset, right? And then I could say done equals false, I'll bet. And then while not done, I'll just make a little loop, right? I'll say env step. Whoops, I can't do that. I'll say my new observation, my reward, whether I'm done, and something I don't care about, equals env.step, env.action. It'd be a miracle if I type this in right. Space.sample. In other words, take random steps, right? And by the way, please print the observation, the reward, and whether I'm done. I don't know. I forgot to render it. It ran. That was kind of silly. All right, so let me try that again. While not done, do the thing, print the thing, and by the way, draw the picture for me because it's just so boring to look at numbers. How about if I say done? I'll use an editor soon because this is going to get tedious.
That's so
Yeah, it moved very slightly. It turned out to be a really bad program. Let's try to write a good program. We'll get you going in a sec. Let me just get it running.
Why is it so perfect?
There, I got a really lame mountain car. There it is. See it? That's a random mountain car. And the code to make mountain car do random things is right here. And I even got rid of the stopping condition, so it looks like it's going to crash at some point. I wish I could make that a little bigger for you to read, but that's kind of really poorly done mountain car here. So I mean, the code is super simple. It makes the environment, it resets it, and while it's not done, it takes a random step. But the syntax is pretty good. You have to get used to, OpenAI's way of thinking, right? But from there, I've got 3 actions I can take, 0, 1, or 2, right? And you can write lots of programs to get the car to go up the hill. It's a good place to start. So who does not have an environment running who I could maybe help? Huh? Just start over. Think about it. You get the car up the hill.
Well, no, I did start over, but I'm just trying to remember.
Okay. Emily, is it functioning? Hmm?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Maybe question mark. I don't know. But I'm kind of just
Are you running PyCharm? What's that?
Oh, she's got Adam.
Oh, Adam.
online.
Adam's awesome.
I love Adam.
Yeah. Okay, right. Save it, and then you have to use a terminal to kick off. Let me know when your program's written. Try to stay awake. We should have done the espresso, kiddo.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Next time. You can sleep in the car. We have an incredibly beautiful espresso machine. Crank that thing up. Hmm?
So you got your env equals your environment equals gym.make mountain car.
Dash versions. I'm going to put that someplace where you can actually see it. Hold on one second. Because that's crazy to try to look at that, right? A Will from, who's not usually part of the class, but work that he did. Will Garon, how do you say it? Yeah. I'll have to check up with him.
So is there a slice of Replit that has the gym?
Yep. You can use Replit. It'll install the gym. See it? It's actually going and getting the whole gym. Just
Yeah. So when you go to if I went to the mountain car and I went to, they've got
yeah.
need all that stuff to get out.
Don't need to do any cloning. That's what Pip does.
Doing it for gym.
Yeah. Exactly. And then if you get this, if you get far, that's every mountain car that isn't an algorithm of your own. I can get it, I can reset it, I can step it, whatever. Did you get to where you're running there?
Yeah,
Oh, that's totally fine. The only problem with Replit is you can't draw. Realize what's going on Replit. Can you run Python on your box?
yeah, I don't have the up-to-date version.
That'll work okay. I just didn't know how to tell it to install stuff. See, it tells you that the gym is there.
It's running.
Huh? Now you got to solve it. Great that it's running. Make it go up the hill. Or
I like the pendulum ones.
do the pendulum one. When the pendulum's observation, how many is it, like one number or two? I mean, the smaller the observation, the easier it is, right?
I think it's probably a lot.
The pendulum?
I mean, it's kind of
It
like,
can only be like the velocity. Like, how many things has it gotten?
it's got like,
You kick it up and print out an observation right
which
now.
way it's going? I don't know. How do
Well, it'd be plus or minus. How do you print an observation? Well, yeah, because the observation is one of the return values from step, right? So if you put a line in here that says print obs, it'll tell you what obs is. Right?
Oh, it didn't like that. It doesn't like it. I don't. Oh, you're gonna have to show me. It's got three things, and
It's got three things? Okay.
one of them is above zero, the other two are not. And, well, they go.
It could have a position, a velocity. Is it just the simple pendulum? I can't even imagine what the third thing would be.
It starts, the first one
Yeah.
is 0.2, 0.95, 0.45.
I don't know. Try to make it bounce.
I really should pay more attention to where
To what?
You don't have to worry about where it is, you just have to LS. And then it's usually no.
What are you trying to do?
Just try to find the thing.
Because it might also be
Oh, Adam could have put it anywhere.
actually. Like on three.
What did I do? Oh my god.
LS. Here's all your stuff.
Thank you.
CD, change directory.
Yeah. I know that much.
What do you got? Did you manage to get that to run? Oh, I don't know. You can do it in Colab. Can-
Using this, that didn't work.
I thought that's actually working in the running, okay? Type and see what it does. The Jim's not here, right? So go to like a command line of, how do you do that on a Windows? How do you get a command line? Sure, yeah, do that. Yeah. Fire that up. Can you type pip enter and just see if pip is here? Okay. Jeff, so Google on Windows install pip. So pip is the package manager that lets you install stuff on your machine.
I think if you install Python 3 dot whatever, it comes with pip.
Okay.
What version of
Here, you take over. You know stuff. Doing?
I don't know if we'll be able to get it.
No, I'm just looking. I had Replit, but it doesn't work with the command line. So I'm like, all right, how do I do it in the command line? I gotta put.
How do you put? Can you just put Python 3 right on the box?
You have to have. I don't think you can. I think you have to have to it.
Oh no, I think there's a downloadable installer that might do everything for you.
Right. I've got Python installed.
Okay. Well,
Many years.
all right, we'll just go back to your PyCharm. That's fine. And just
So then the problem is getting.
here, let me just spin the box around so I can have a look at it. Right, PyCharm. Okay. Oh, whoops.
You don't take it to your side doing it.
No, I'm okay. So what I believe we do, is it a tool? Python console. Can I have that?
And then you wait.
Windows firewall, allow access. Stop, don't do that to me.
Yeah. Thanks, Windows.
Oh, okay. So is this in fact a Python console? Console is not enabled. Oh, there we go. Okay. So then,
Here's There's an IDE scripting console.
Yeah, I don't want that though.
That's not going to help us.
I don't think so. I want to just install something into the virtual environment. Reformat code. I don't know. One second. If you just do this, right? And you say, I want, 374 or whatever. And you just say, can I just input this on my machine? Does it work? Because it should bring pip along with it, you would think.
We learned something new today.
What happened?
We downloaded Python from the internet because
Yeah.
pip doesn't work with Python, apparently, because Python is coming out with a new thing in 2020. So pip install Python 3 or whatever does not work.
Is it working now?
Well, we just downloaded it from the internet.
Now it's like the interpreter.
It's got an interpreter, like right there.
What?
I read something and then I quit.
All
So I didn't feel like reading it anymore.
right, all right, come on. It's hard.
Not just today, unfortunately.
Okay, you're running idle.
Just the exact opposite of what we mean.
Pip install. Install gem, it seems okay. Oh, did it get mad at me because it's...
Oh no, I'm just saying pip install Python.
Hold on. Okay. Password.
I'm gonna pass this. This is a great program I wrote last year.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Well, what did you do?
I don't know. I think I was smarter last year.
Why don't you go back? You were more awake, that's for sure.
You know, it's weird because today
Everybody's just done. It's just the rain
Like this weekend, the rain is kind of
and the snow. Everybody's just toast. All right, what do you got? What command was not found? Emily's not a command.
That's my password.
Sudo pip install gem. There you go. Oh,
It's grumpy with me.
yeah, it's not happy.
I expected a comma? What?
No.
Oh, we never talked about weights.
We will. We just got to get everybody caught up.
Cool.
Somehow it's working now. I went with pip 3. Be compatible with Python 3.
oh, there we go.
Okay, so you're getting there. No, it's getting good things on your MacBook Air. Did you science student when you got the MacBook Air? Do you know there's a CSD online course in
Really?
cool course, yeah. It's a really cool course.
That's what I was looking at in Colby when I was bored
What is
and
it?
didn't feel like doing normal work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember where I was, but I was like avoiding some class in the bathroom on my phone looking at.
And what happened?
And I feel like I'd really like to do that. Computational biology. I don't
Good, yeah. So here's what I want you to do. Take a break right now.
Okay.
It's working. Go to a browser and type UCSD Coursera Bioinformatics.
What am I typing in?
UCSD
Yeah.
Coursera. Coursera. Bioinformatics. Course is made for you. You would love this thing.
How does one spell that word?
Bioinformatics. Just make it up.
Sure. Oh,
Take a look. Take a look.
this one. I would love to explore. When I talked to my grandpa about colleges, he was like, just don't, like, maybe not California. And I was like, I'm sorry, but that's exactly where I would love to be. Oh, no, computer.
Wait. See, look. See when it starts.
When December 10th.
That's today.
I think they start like every 2 weeks. So.
Huh?
Just read the course description.
Okay.
And you don't use last year's code. That's not allowed.
I understand it.
What does it do?
That's what we did last year.
No, but seriously, I don't remember what we did last
I
year.
know what it does. I mean, it's the same stuff we've had just with weights, but I don't know if I really remember what that was.
Is it doing Q learning?
It's doing key learning. It's doing, well, it's doing explore and exploit.
I'll bet you could do something really.
I'm sure I could. I'm sure I could do it in less than 33 lines of code.
Okay, give it a try.
I'll try.
Put it aside and do something really simple. So did you come anywhere close to the environment that works?
I'm actually going to just download the latest PyCharm.
That's what we use, and it does work really well.
Figure might as well.
Time to roll up to 2019. Did that come any closer to running? Oh, wait a minute, you're close. Oh, yeah, so invite in env.render, and then you need parens to invoke it. Try it, yeah, it's a function. You'd said, yeah, dude, it's a function. It's like, thanks, Python.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, try it.
Sorry, juggling.
Hey, you're doing great. So that's all okay, actually, because you're invoking it in a way that's probably not super friendly for the gym. So I'm going to impose on you for 1 second, okay, by just typing a little bit, and then I'm going to give it right back, okay? So what I'm going to try, first of all, I'm going to try to get to the bottom of wherever you are. There we go. Can you make that window smaller? I'm too, like, Windows unaware. Cool, okay. Can you click in there? All right, good. Okay. I'll bet if I reset the environment, so you gave me an initial observation, then maybe I can render it just once. And what is it telling me that it doesn't want to do? Base is not defined. What the heck does that mean?
That's weird.
It's got some incompatibility of some version. Are we running Python 2 or Python 3? Python 3.8?
Yep.
Seems okay. Let's make a different environment.
One thing we could try, so the when the install ran, it didn't update the.
So what did you make, mountain car? Or cart pole? Which one did you make?
That was the pendulum.
The pendulum. Okay, I'm going to make mountain car. Okay. It's simpler. Okay. So there's something missing there.
I might try rerunning the install and tell it to update the system path. That was something that.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. He was asking if somebody could bring.
Yeah, you want to, sure. Yeah.
Do we still have the install?
Huh?
Probably download it.
You got to talk really loud.
Probably in your downloads.
That's a really good question, right? Let me just sit with you for a second. Or just let me just scoot over here. Okay, Ilya, I'm going to steal your stool in the way that sometimes kids do when they want to trick other kids, but I'm not tricking you. Okay. So the way you could begin to solve it is to say, well, let's just write something incredibly simple and see what it does, right? So when you run this currently, I'll bet that it loops and then it just kind of dies, right? Okay, so let's try individual actions and let's just experiment with them. So when you do environment step, instead of doing sample, just do environment step of 0.
Back up.
We're going to do the goofiest possible thing, okay?
Back one more, was there? I mean, we could remove it and reinstall.
Yeah, run that. Save it and run it.
Take a long time to install. Okay, so when you say install, then we'll just rerun it to see if we can do that. Oh, and actually, if you have it running right now, yeah, we probably need to quit this.
So what do you think 1 does? Oh, sorry, 0, whichever action you just put in there. So move this little guy over there, but keep it open, okay? Because you can always just hit up arrow. Do you know how to do up arrow? Watch. Oh! It's right there. You'll get it. You can always hit up arrow enter, and it'll run it again. Do you know how to do that? Go into the terminal, hit up arrow.
Right, so go ahead
Up arrow says, what did I do a minute and enter.
and then try running it again.
Dum-da-dum. Okay, so it seems to be going to the left. Now let's try step 1 instead of step 0.
And then install now.
Go ahead, save it, and then go do up arrow. That seems to be doing almost nothing. Now let's try the only other remaining action, which is 2. Go ahead and try. Just, yeah, save, that's okay, save replace. Try it. Now it's trying to go that way, right? So what do you think the actions do?
Let's try that again.
Different directions.
Yeah, it either nudges it this way, does nothing, or nudges it that way, right?
Okay,
Looks
so
like it,
if I
right?
import Jim,
So now let's do a little experiment, okay? Now that we know something about what the actions do, I wonder what the
I'm not sure why we
observations are
didn't have
about.
to reinstall the Jim,
Okay.
but okay. And
So
then
when we do the reset, it
you
actually
before to
returns
try
an
to,
initial observation.
create an instance.
Let's say
and
OBS or some variable, let's say obs, equals reset. So we catch the value.
before you
And then
try
on
to
line 5, say print obs. Let's just see what's in there.
pendulum. So did you
Oh no, way up on line
put that code
5.
in the file, or did you just type in the commands in the interpreter? Okay, can we try to do that again?
Sure, now save that and run it.
I want to do something like that. Or
Yeah, just give it the old up arrow and it'll, oh, so you can tell that thing to wait. It wants to update the computer. Sure, go ahead and run that. So that initial observation tells us that mountain car only gives us 2 numbers. Is that true? I believe it, but it looks like it only gives us 2 numbers to work with, right?
What do you mean, 2 numbers?
So before all this craziness occurred, right, you printed out the initial observation, and it was just 2 values, okay?
okay, and then
So I don't know what the values represent,
it was env
right?
reset.
but I'll bet that if you were to go inside the loop and print obs inside the loop, we'd see the numbers change. Because that observation is telling you something about the state of the mountain car. That's the purpose, right?
With the double parentheses.
You follow the words I just said? Make sense? So mountain car is trying to tell you something useful about where the mountain car is. Go run it. It's okay. Okay. So it's telling you
So it's
some.
all the observations with them all.
Python show.
Yeah. So those observations, which are all negative, seem to suggest that it's negative when the car is over to the right. Okay. So now I'm going to print them, just one of them. Hang on, I don't mean to get in your way. So obs seems to have 2 things, right? So let's just do obs square bracket 0. Save that. Whoops.
Because it's trying to draw something on the screen.
And run that. Now I'm only looking at the first number in the observation. Okay, so here's my brilliant algorithm just for starters, okay? If that number is positive, I want to do action 0, and if it's negative, I want to do action 2.
Import the Jim.
I'm hoping that if it's on one side, I can kick it the other way. So I'm just saying, I'm making it up, I've never done this before. I'm saying, hey, I'm just going to guess. I'm going to say if that number, obs of 0, if it's positive, I'm going to take a certain action, and if it's negative, I'm going to take the other action.
Oh, no, you can't. Usually,
Sorry.
in a Python interpreter, you can.
I don't know, maybe. Who knows, right? Let me have the computer a second. So I just don't, because I don't want to crowd you. Okay, there we go. So the way I might accomplish that, right,
env.render.
is I might say, I'll let my initial action
You gotta do double.
just be 1, which I think does nothing, okay? And instead of stepping 2, I'm going to step,
It's easy to forget.
action.
I leave it out of code all the time, and all
Right.
kinds of crazy stuff happens.
And then over here, I'm going to say, whoops, if this thing is less than 0,
Oh, that's actually
action can be one of the extremes, and I don't know which one. Well, I can always switch it. I'm just going to take a complete wild guess. Okay?
And then it's the other extreme.
the other extreme, which would be 2, I believe. Sorry, because 1 seems to not do much. Now, run that. Oops, sorry. So go, just do your up arrow trick. Yeah, just go right over there. Hit up arrow, hang out. Well, I'm not sure what that did, right? I think before we do that, I wouldn't mind doing this. Just because, whoops, it's hard to get there from over there.
Oh.
I'm going to try to print, no, you fix it, you fix it. Print the action just so I can see whether it's changing. There you go, run that. Oops, what did I do wrong? Actually, I don't see right away what I did wrong. What does it say? Oh, it's a semicolon? It should be a colon? Oh, you hit save, hit save. There you go, you were right. Go ahead, try that. So the action is perpetually 0. So obs is always, here, let's just, let's do the totally inspired, try the other thing. Run that. So that's not really working, right? Let's just examine the other number we've got. It's just an experiment. Try it. Ooh, you know what that says to me? If you switch those numbers, something might happen. I don't know. Switch 2 and 0. Yeah, switch the actions. Yeah, because you managed to do the opposite of what you intended, right? You froze it in place, right? Now run it. Oh! Now you get to present to the class. Right? That was kind of silly, right? Now you got to figure out why it works. Why does it work? Here, and hey guys, you guys got to team up and figure out why this works.
What are we doing?
No, take a look.
That's cool, yeah. I'm just starting with
What is that?
the charger.
Does it go for like days?
Actually, this is the weaker of the ones I have. It's actually not that much. I have like one like Anchor one that I charge that like lasts like a month.
Nice. Good. You
This
need.
one can start a car though.
You can start going.
There's an adapter and you
Oh,
can put
that's
a car.
really, really funny.
I
And
think you only get like one go though.
slightly scary and really funny.
Yeah.
So what's this thing going to do?
Well, I need to work on making this standardizing this. Probably putting like a clip mechanism so I can have like have it slide in there and then put the bearing on it and then clip it in or glue it and something like that. And then move this in so there's not much.
You know what I'm intuitively worrying about? This binding,
Yeah.
right? This right here,
That's
binding.
not the real joint. This is just like a test. There's going to be an outside case, but I see what you mean about the.
So do you need to print two of these so this is supported on both sides? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's going to be a frame that holds the idlers and the drive wheels.
Okay.
And that's going to go on the outside. And then it's going to bolt onto this.
I get it. Okay, so that thing will be through,
Yeah.
and then it'll be turning,
Yeah.
but it won't be twisting. Okay, I'm on board.
I'm actually thinking about abandoning the friction drive for gears, so I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Well, keep trying.
Yeah.
It will eventually work.
I think this will work if I put some pulley system on this so it doesn't bind there.
Well, have you seen the tooth belt on the stepper motor in here?
Yeah, I have.
Right, it's that, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, that stuff is insane. That thing, it does not skip.
Yeah.
I don't know how you make a continuous loop, but someone knows. Just that someone's not me, right? So I don't know if Jeff has an opinion about whether that's an appropriate approach, But that stuff does work ridiculous. And then you see what he did? He
Yeah.
joined it to bicycle cables. Look at how 8th grade this thing is. Got this like relay,
Yeah.
like from some random Chevy, because he tried to run. Yeah, that didn't go well.
Car back.
Then he realized that maybe you need to do that in steps. And this had to be mounted upside down. Too short. But nonetheless, it went. Do you ever see this? Yeah. This thing nailed the mark. So here, come here, watch that. Watch this. Yeah, it went 5 miles, and it came with 2 boat lengths and shut itself down. So here, crank up YouTube for a second. Oh, we have the same computer, I think. Is that a Dell?
Yeah, XPS 13.
Yeah, that's what I got. I love that thing.
I think another design might be making these closer together to make it less wide.
That seems like space. And to put the bolt on the outside, the clamp you could. Just Leo kayak shoals. Shh, don't tell him. He gets so mad because he's in 8th grade here.
He gets upset if anyone
Yeah.
mentions the video.
Yeah, we'll call some kayak boys still.
Oh, so do I.
So
And
this is when
to his face.
that's behind my
He
house.
almost started to kick me out of the car because I
Yeah.
talked about his autonomous kayak.
Yeah, I know. He's
You're following it?
that's me.
Does it go faster than you, or can you keep up with it?
It would on smooth water. I would eventually give up. It goes whole speed, so it goes probably 3.5 knots. But you can watch the whole thing as much as you want. But I just want to show you this. Watch this. So here, the thing has been released in the open ocean, and it's going all the way 5 miles to that buoy in there, and it's in a cross current. See it going sideways because it corrects itself, and that thing is at shoals, and it got right to there, and it just clicked off because they had a radius restriction on it. So I mean, there's lots of like fun footage in the middle when the thing, like he's talking and it's just going along, and then this fishing boat comes roaring over. They were just freaked out because at one point we got pretty far from it on a test run, and they thought somebody had fallen out of it. I would come over too, right? And I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's a science experiment. They're like, what? It was super funny. All right, why did that work?
We had a
No, what's your theory?
that like it's just telling it to go
I was
this
like,
way
if
if it's
it's
here and this way if it's here.
like if it's not in the right spot, then like don't do anything.
Kind of, right? So if you analyze that source code literally, right? Hang on, Isaiah, is he hacking on your computer over there?
Trying.
Here, come join us for a second.
Yes, I know.
Go ahead and run that
So cool.
one more time. This is the most ridiculous solution ever. Watch. Can you see that screen?
And I told her Leah would be jealous.
No, what happened? Oh, did you switch it? Oh yeah, switch it back.
Oh yeah. We said try it a little bit just to see.
Yeah, go ahead and save it. Yes. So the question was, what would be an example of an approach, right? No. What happened there?
What
I don't know. What did you guys do?
Oh, change that one. Hold on. That needs to be 2 and that one needs to be 0. The action values.
That's true. We were switching things around.
You should. That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, you want to save it?
Yeah, now run it. Whoa. How does that work? Well, I like it too, but how does it work?
Like that's asking for the first observation. Or the second. If it's going negative, if it's going backwards, I think it'll be less than 0. Isn't that how it works? Like if the card is rolling the other way.
I honestly don't know. I'm going to make a guess now that that particular number that you picked out is either telling you which way the car is going or possibly its position relative to the bottom of the hill. It's one or the other, right? Because you might be saying, if you're on this side of the hill, kick it this way. And if you're on this side of the hill, kick it that way. So we discovered there are only 3 actions, and we tried them. And one of them nudges it one way, one of them nudges it the other, and one of them doesn't do anything. So we're like, okay, let's just pick one of those based on one of the only two things we know, right? The other thing might be the velocity of the car.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's a cool idea.
Oh no.
I think you should try it.
You want to peek?
You can always change it later.
You can peek. Do you want to know how to peek? Do you want to peek at it? You want someone to tell you what those numbers represent?
Yes.
Okay. Go to the OpenAI Gym website and go to Mountain Car and see if it gives you any clues there.
My dog ate one, so I had to cut the one out of the other, so I didn't have one strange.
Go ahead. What do you got there? Does it tell you what the op? Go ahead. Click on it. What do the words say? Anything interesting?
GitHub, it'll tell you.
There you go. That's your next step. Where's the GitHub link?
Yeah.
Okay.
I accidentally did first, and then was like, oh wait, I probably shouldn't be looking.
So if you read the comments in there, what does it tell you? It's the source code. It's in there somewhere. Is there a README? I don't know how it works. Amelia, did you find clues in there in the past?
No, I didn't. I never looked under the hood of this one. I just kind of. I remember we did it as a class, kind of like, oh, I think it's like this, and then it worked.
Yeah. No, it's not going to tell you.
Looked at was
Have we never run OpenAI Gym on Windows before?
So students have, but Windows is a strange place, right?
Yeah.
And all Windows machines are different. So I know that certainly that students have, but I do not have no idea how to do it.
Miller did last year.
Yeah.
Does he have a Windows computer?
He has his computer is the weirdest computer I've ever seen.
Does this have Ubuntu on it?
It's like the snake logo. Yeah.
So did you guys make any progress toward even getting an environment?
No.
You gave up?
I'm just updating this.
What happens? It's a Mac. It should work. Tell me. Come on. All right. Before we have 4 minutes, let's figure it out. No, you got PyCharm.
Yeah.
No, what happened?
I have the most. I updated it too. Including.
This terminal. So Gordon, here's what I was trying to say. See this terminal right here? See, there's a terminal, right? I don't know if it's on your version or not.
Well, I just updated it.
So under terminal, right, if I type, I don't know, pip3, seems like it's here. If I say pip3 install gym, what I think it may do is put the thing that I install in this environment. Pretty cool, huh?
That's awesome.
That's why PyCharm is the best, because we work them
to import Gym on the console.
in the code, but it's probably already there. So we work on these projects in here at our real job, right? And we have like 92 different environments because they're all messed up. And PyCharm keeps them all straight. It's incredibly useful. So yeah, we'll just hang out here for several minutes. Okay. Works. And what the password's lost. How's that? Up. Make yourself comfortable. So let that go. It's done.
If it's moving backwards, push left. If it's moving forwards, push right. Just very cool and a much more intuitive way to solve a problem than.
No, I mean, the file that I was downloading was secret.
Right, so it's going this way. Go
It was the
higher.
last
Oh.
Michael.
I'm slow.
Very cool though.
That's really fun. That's awesome. That's cool. I'm sure I type. How? I wear my spandex. Where's the these were cool spandex? I like them. That's like these.
They were $4. That's cool.
So what's the third action? Do you know?
All right, hold on. Okay, so what happened? Did it run?
No, it didn't.
What happened? Code did you try to run? Show me.
Oh, wait.
You got to put some code in there.
That would help.
Just make a new Python thing. Have you ever used PyCharm before?
Yeah, back in the spring, but I don't like.
You know, yeah. Right? Hold on. Where's file new? File. Python file, right? Python file, sure. Call it, something.py or just something. It probably puts the py on there for you. Type those very few lines in there. See if it goes. All right. So, guys, we're finishing our sleepy day. It's tough because I'm sleepy, right? It's just a sleepy time of the year. Get home if you want to. If you want to work on it. Because your Chromebook's not going to get you anywhere.
So let's.
Just bring it back next week.
Python again.
Oh, look at you. You did.
And then we were like, oh, look.
So, okay. So you asked me how you'd go about solving this problem, and then you went about solving this problem.
Great job.
Good for you. Yeah, keep going. Okay? And just don't stop. If it works, try another one or try another approach, right? And the gym is full of environments. You can just, do you see the code? Take me back to your code for a sec. I don't even remember where the heck we wrote it. In Atom. We wrote it in Atom. You see where you said environment make mountain car? You can make cart pole, or you can make pendulum, or you can make whatever. The website gives you the names. You can experiment with it. You can also go on Discord and say, hey, everyone, I'm totally lost. Right? And somebody will help you.
If you go on Reddit, which you probably never even heard of before, there's an OpenAI thing. So
You are such a nerd. Did you go to the subreddit of OpenAI? That's the best thing I've heard all night. That's great.
I did last year from Pac-Man. I was like,
Good.
hey.
Good. Hang on, did that run? Are you getting there?
I did not
Take it
actually
down.
ask Reddit, but I read about it on Reddit.
You owe me some parens on that
I
reset.
recommend that if you ever get lost on that whole thing, because that's really funny. Yeah, that was great. I love it. I just popped my head and I'm like, oh, I need to figure this out. Somebody already did.
Anthony lives on Reddit.
Well, success.
Yeah, Reddit's awesome. Yeah? Oh, you'll get
Yes, Williams likes math.
I mean, we don't have math homework. We had 2 quizzes today that were fake quizzes.
What a life. Imagine not having
Oh, that's good.
Well, it was just filling in the unit twice.
That's so fun.
Okay.
Were you there for that conversation?
No?
Oh, okay. So we watched in the class and it was an Xbox. Means that you should not be getting quizzed, but I don't really care.
Right.
Because it was like fine. And then he was like, okay, here you go. Here is the unit circle. Fill it out. And it had the radian degrees, radian values, and then the
Yeah, yeah.
and all that, and then the coordinates. And so I filled it in, and then I passed it, and then everyone was all like, oh, I did that wrong, and so then he was like, okay, so let's think of some strategies just to get this now. And so then
Good.
we talked to a partner, and talked as a class,
Uh-huh.
and then I gave some tips on just things that you can do, because some people were confused with to use, all that sort of stuff, and then we did it again.
Did that one count?
But
I think that's a good strategy. I know it's an X block, whatever. But I think an open-minded and low-stress way. Good. That's good.
he's also given quizzes before. He's like, this only counts if it helps you.
He's a nice person. He's trying really. He's trying his
See,
best.
people don't like him though.
Made a simple
Mr.
math mistake.
Plus two.
It's like,
Yeah,
you're
it's
fine.
just-
I'm not taking
She uses her. All right, hang on. We're going to get one more machine running and we'll call it a night. Is it running? Come on. What did it do?
It's just not doing anything.
Well, hang on a second. That's because you didn't tell it to run, I'll bet. So now, in PyCharm, right? Well, kind of, because you got to make sure you actually run this thing. It looks legit. Give you that.
The right file, 'cause
That's
sometimes
what
it
that.
likes to run the last one.
So now you go to run, right? And you say run, and then you say pendulum.
Oh,
Dude,
wow.
you're in business. All right. All right. It's kind of cool.
At one point, I think in this one where he looks up and smiles. She's adorable. She paid for it.
She's a good mom.
I was like, I love you.
I
That
want
is
my
very
mom
cool.
to wait until I turn 18 so we can get tattoos together because she wants a tattoo and I want a tattoo. So it's just a matter of
Anthony's girlfriend has a couple of really beautiful tattoos. All right. Hopefully something's kind of running. Nothing running back there. Take a whole computer if you want to. Time, right? Now we're going to solve some of these. We're going to be less sleepy. We're going to solve some of these. Well, we'll see. Like basically, right?
yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Just about.
Almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
Right.
I get my wisdom teeth done next week.
Oh, you're going to be like have the whatever they call.
Will